guys, and welcome back to Third Act Thursday. We are so happy to finally be reviewing a Camille Playhouse show.
Mm-hmm.
So this week we're going to be reviewing Little Women. We went to go see it, today, but when this video goes out, it would have been last week. I just have to start by saying that I was blown away by this show, and to start the video, I do want to say that the oldest person in this cast was 20 years old.
Yeah.
So when we go into more detail about the show, you'll understand why we're super, super astonished, wink.
I literally have no words. This was the perfect way for them to close their spring season, and it was such a hit. Such a huge hit.
It really was.
Wow.
I want to say that it's probably my second favorite, if not my favorite, this season.
I want to say that too.
And we've seen, I want to say most, if not all,
of this past season.
This
I think
shows,
so.
Yeah.
It was such a great show that hits you in the feels, especially knowing that the actors are so young.
Yeah.
And so extremely talented. I was so blown away.
Yeah, I think we were sitting there kind of thinking, because neither of us had really known much about Little Women, aside from the fact that it was, a novel and, a play, but we didn't know that it had been made into a musical. I was a little intrigued by the subject. I was like, okay, this will be cool to see, as, told in music.
Right.
But I was not expecting to walk out of there this is the music from this show is not different, but it's the way it was portrayed and the way it was performed just felt so authentic. It felt very real.
I mean, the guys killed it. The women, all the Little Women, killed it. They were incredible. They really rocked that show.
Yes, they were. We sat there through Act 1. And the main character, who was played by
a 14-year-old
Ellie Palacios, she's 14 years old, and let me tell you, when I saw her, you would have thought that she was this seasoned actress who had been doing this her entire life.
Yeah.
And this was just, I just decided to audition for this show, and now I'm in it. I would never in a million years have guessed that this girl was as young as she is. And then we come to find out that the oldest person in the cast was 20 years old. That's insane. Before we continue with the review, I do encourage you, if you ever do have a chance to go see a production at the Camille Playhouse, that you go do so, because it is worth it.
Especially musicals, because they kill every single musical that I've seen.
It is worth it, and you will not be disappointed. The people who work there and the people who are part of the creative team there are very, very dedicated to what they do. And it shows throughout every single show that we've seen. Yeah. Every actor that's on that stage, this is what they love to do, and that's what it's about. That's what it's about, guys. And I cannot stress that enough. And we'll be promoting their summer season soon, probably within the next week. Yeah. Probably the week that this video goes out.
They also have auditions coming up for all their shows. West Side Story is going to be one of the first ones.
Yes. So something that they are changing about this season is, before they used to have auditions at the beginning of the season for all 6 shows, if I understand that correctly. And now they're going to do it show by show, on a show-by-show basis, which I think will really, really encourage a lot of people to go out there and be like, well, maybe I'm not fit for this musical, but I'll definitely try and aim to audition for this one specifically and go hard. I think I'm hoping to see a lot of new faces this season.
Me too.
And I think they are too.
Not just that, but faces that we see here on this side, I would want to see them over there.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get back to this, because this is what the video is about. The one thing, and I'm sure you're going to agree with me, because I think you know where I'm going.
Spacing?
No. No, the lighting.
Yo, okay, I wanted to talk to you about this too. I was holding everything in throughout the show, but okay, I know Leslie worked on the lighting. She was a lighting designer, I believe.
Yes, correct.
I love the color scheme that she used, because it was just so beautiful. The fact that the different levels of lighting and the different levels of colors of lighting was beautiful. I know there's pictures out there, so we'll ask them for pictures. That way you guys can see some of it. But I was so amazed by that. I've never thought about that or seen that before. Using different color of lights to bring out different levels.
One thing I did love about this show was the silhouetting that they did.
Yes.
And I think it goes back to like this, like the cover.
Yeah.
It was there were a lot of moments where the light was behind the actor, and yes, like we always want to see the actor, of course, 100%. Like we want to see who's singing, we want to see who's talking. Yeah. But I really felt like it added like this very old feel to it. Like I felt like for the time, it really made sense to do that, and they did it perfectly.
That lighting made things so intimate to me. Like I felt like I had a personal connection with them. Those moments are just so memorable, and they paint such beautiful pictures. And that's what it's all about. It's about creating a beautiful picture on stage. It's like a storybook. Like it literally is like that.
I think that is one thing that I do have to say about the Camille, is that I feel like they've mastered levels and making pictures. Yeah. Because all the pictures that I've seen, and no matter where you sit, because we've sat in different spots throughout that theater, no matter where you sit, you get to see everyone, and there's really no place that you can sit where people are blocked, or your view is blocked, or you don't get an awesome like image of the whole cast. Like one thing I love is when they come out to do the curtain call.
Their curtain calls are so
unique.
Yeah. They're performed professionally. That's the word. Let's move on to the set, because I love sets like that, because they had a very abstract but at the same time very homey feeling to it. It gives you a puzzle piece. It gives you puzzle pieces of what the house should look like, but they don't give you the full house. That's what I love about that. That you get like main parts, and then you just put everything in your imagination together. Yeah. You know, that's what I love about that.
I think one thing I do want to talk about as well is the costumes. Oh. Because they were so beautiful.
Like Brianna Shifkins.
They found a way to make all of them look so elegant. Absolutely. And so like the costumes fit them perfectly. Yeah. And their characters as well. Like I think their characters were very, you could tell like, okay, like this is who the character is based on what they were wearing. I mean, I think it was a testament to Jo's character being the strong-willed, independent woman that she was. She wore pants for the most part of it.
Aunt March, her costume was like crazy, but she is crazy. Like it made sense. Like she looked very well put together, but at the same time it was like, this woman's not normal.
Yeah, like she's very eccentric.
Yes, very out there. And she's hilarious. I mean, I love that character so much. She was such a beautiful light in, you know, the seriousness of what the show was.
Yeah, I can't say that there was a weak link in the show. One doesn't immediately pop in my head, so I would think it's safe to say that there wasn't one. I personally felt like each of them brought their own take on the characters. Absolutely. And I think like you said, the casting I think was beautiful. I think
magnifique.
The four sisters had great chemistry on stage.
Oh yeah. The mother, so incredible,
who was played by Kitty, what's her last name? Kitty Castillo. We've seen her in several shows where she's been an ensemble member in most of them. Yeah. So it was really, really cool to see her in the mother figure in this one.
Oh, it was so.
Yeah.
I'm her biggest fan. I'm putting it out there. I was so in love with her character, and I was so in love with the way she sang and everything. And then seeing her in this one, I didn't even recognize her at the beginning. It took me until, the second act?
Yeah.
To figure out that it was her. I was like, who is this beautiful, beautiful woman who is, you know, belting her life away, and it sounds so beautiful. Like, I want to be her when I grow up, even though I'm older than her. Let's move on to one of my favorite topics to talk about, is their singing and their acting, how that went. Okay, let's go down the line. Jo.
Okay. We both agreed. Well, you said it first, and then I agreed with you because I didn't see it until right before you had mentioned it.
It was a moment when like something clicks in your head and you're like, oh my god, like because we were sitting there and she was singing a beautiful song, I don't know which one, and I looked at her, and the way she had such a huge connection to her character, she reminded me of a young Lea Michele. like a very young, like, spring awakening, like Lea Michele. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's really refreshing to see that someone as young as her is really working.
Yes.
Like, really working. Like, I can see her being on stage for the rest of her life.
Me too.
I think she truly has a passion for this. And keep in mind, these are all assumptions because we barely met her today.
Yeah.
But if this is something she wants to pursue, I have no doubt in my mind that this girl will go far.
Yeah.
Professor Bear, yeah. He was someone that took me by surprise too.
Me too.
The beginning he didn't act. He didn't sing. So it wasn't
until the second act that he started singing.
Yes.
I was watching and then I went, oh wow, okay, bring it home, Like, yeah. I wasn't expecting it, but it was so beautiful and so full and rich, like.
And I felt like voice. He also had a connection to his character.
Yeah.
I feel like there was that little spark in his eye that was like, this is, I really enjoy that when you can tell that the actor has really taken the time to get to know the character. Honestly, I think every single one of them did that in this show.
Me too.
But I think he had that little spark, like I said, in his eye that I could see.
Yeah, and just to like make it very brief and not keep going down the line because it's gonna take us forever. Because everybody was so incredible. Like, this cast was just so perfect. Like, I don't believe like there was any changes I would do. Because whenever we go to a show, I think like, okay, what would I change? Like,
or what would I have liked to see?
That's the consultant part of me that like comes out and like I start judging it, like breaking it down. But like, there's literally nothing I would change about casting. Yeah. Everything was so sweet from Beth's sweet like heart. Like, I wouldn't change that. Like, I wouldn't change that person.
I think
that character, like,
each of them had their own personalities, and I think they committed to them. Yeah. So I think it was very, very cool to see that. As far as singing, I don't think there was anything bad that I can think of. I mean, of course, everybody has their mishaps.
Everybody has their moments.
It happens, nobody's perfect, not even the people who are stars.
Yeah.
But I think those songs were done so beautifully, and what I did like is that the music did not overpower the voices and the voices did not overpower the music. I think it was a perfect balance of both, and I think they found that balance and stuck with it. It was consistent. Like, there wasn't a song that I was like, oh, okay, this is a little loud. Like,
yes.
And there were songs that build. So I was expecting,
but they built smoothly and beautifully. Like, it wasn't like a huge impact, like, oh, here's me belting. Like, no. Yeah. It slides all the way up there. It has a beautiful like movement to it. Yeah. You know what? This is a great contender for the Palm Awards.
Yeah.
For all the people that are going to be entering, this is a great one. If you have a school full of women and you have a few male leads, like, this is the way to go. I think this has become one of my favorites.
Yeah. Like,
this is one that I want to learn the music and I want to do it myself. You know what I mean? Like, it just, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful show. I didn't thank you to opening up my world of music more. Lastly, we really want to thank Chris and Zach for opening their doors to us and always being very open about us going and, inviting us and letting us know that all the doors are open for us to, come and watch their shows. And that door is open for anybody that's here in the Valley, They've been very welcoming and we really, really appreciate it. I mean, from two young adults that really want to do this for a long time, they're very supportive, and I think it's a friendship that's gonna grow into something so beautiful, and we're really thankful for everything that you've helped us with, and hopefully we can do the same thing for you guys, and it can be a mutual, friendship.
Yeah, I think the support is there, and it's on both sides, and I hope that it continues because, like I said, like, this is something really great, and I'm glad that it's something here in the Valley because it's a necessity. All right, so everybody's favorite part of our video is coming up.
Actually, your favorite part of the
video.
It
is my favorite part. This week, our second Diamond in the Rough this season goes to Kitty Castillo. Now, she played Marmee in The Little Women, the musical, and she was the mother of the 4 girls. And oh my god, I cannot get over her performance. I think she truly captured that mother
the kindness
like,
that was like flowing out of her. It was just so beautiful. Yeah. How patient. Yes. That's what it is. It's the patience of a mother that she like really portrayed.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what got me. And her singing is absolutely beautiful. Her acting is incredible. Like she was somebody that like every time she walked on stage I wanted her to sing, or I wanted her to like, you know, comfort the girls.
She grabs your attention. She grabs your attention, and it was so amazing to hear her sing because I felt like her voice suited the character.
Okay. Well, let's move on to what your favorite song of this musical was.
My favorite song was Astonishing. It's sung by the main character.
Yes.
And I think it's the last number in Act 1, and I think she killed it.
It was a beautiful ending of Act 1. Yes. That's why I was so like, no.
Yeah. Everything you want in the end.
It was so beautiful.
Like, to end an act, like the song, it always has to be killer because it's, you know, they're going to go into intermission and they're going to, you know, reflect on what they just saw, and you want to end with a bang. And I think that, that sent us to the back of the theater.
I agree. That was a beautiful pick. Yeah. That was a beautiful pick. My favorite song was The Most Amazing Thing.
Oh, that one was
It was so sweet and it was so beautiful. If you haven't seen the show, I'm not gonna spoil it again because it's a spoiler.
It is.
But it's one of my favorite songs from like now on. From now on. These eyes will not be blinded by the lights. Anyway. It was such a beautiful song and it was very, very well performed. I think Paris is one of my favorite actresses in that as well. I think Paris was so beautiful in the show. Her comedic timing was just perfect, and same thing for Oscar, right? Yeah, Oscar. He did a really, really good job, and he always kills it with comedic timing. Yeah. I mean, during Grease, I was dying. But anyway, but he also brought a lot of soul and a lot of like sweetness to the character that I love. All right, guys. Well, that's gonna be it with us talking about Little Women. This was such an incredible show. I know it already passed, but there's performing right now. But if you got a chance to see it, like it was such a game changer down here. I think, you know, and it was just beautiful. It was a beautiful show.
It was a beautiful show, and I love seeing shows with very dynamic women. I think those are just very cool to see, and I think more of them are coming about, which is really, really great, especially in the current political climate that we're living in at the moment. And I would definitely go see it again if I could.
I know.
I think
revival. Okay. All right, guys. Well, that concludes this week's video. We hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
I think that was good.
Why do you look at me like that? Like you're in pain.